Hey everyone, and welcome you all to Salina World Affairs. In this video, we will be discussing Canada. Now, you might be wondering, has Justin Trudeau stepped down as Prime Minister of Canada? A new Prime Minister has taken over, Mark Carney, who seems to be more reasonable and mature. However, I must inform you that under his leadership, Canada is still largely the same as it was under Trudeau because the ruling party has not changed. The Liberal Party of Canada is still in power. Recently, the current Prime Minister of Canada stated that the country is going through a very difficult phase and needs a strong government, so we will hold elections as soon as possible. The elections in Canada are set for 2025, and they are extremely important. The Canadian PM mentioned that on one side, there is Donald Trump, who openly claims that Canada is not even a real country. Along with that, there is the threat of tariffs and various other challenges. I want to show you how the Canadian Prime Minister recently informed his own people that the US President says Canada is not even a real country. President Trump claims that Canada is not a real country and wants to break it up so that America can own it, but we will not let that happen. Now, there is concern in Canada about what Trump will do. Another significant fear is that India could interfere in the 2025 elections. Canada believes that India has the capability and intent to do so. Their intelligence agency recently claimed that India could interfere in Canadian elections. Not only India, but they also mentioned China and Russia as potential interferers. However, they specifically highlighted India, suggesting that India aims to achieve its geopolitical ambitions by interfering in Canadian elections. I want to show you exactly what they're saying about India. Here, you can see the line where the Canadian government states that they have also seen the intent and capability of the government of India to interfere in Canadian communities and democratic processes to assert its global influence. Essentially, they believe that India wants to showcase its global influence, which is why it is interfering in Canadian elections. I mean, their logic is quite strange. They do not mention that there are many criminal elements and separatist elements in Canada that are talking about breaking India, but they focus on how India wants to showcase its geopolitical influence. Now, Canada is a country whose existence Donald Trump often questions. What geopolitical influence can you exert? Still, they are spreading this phobia about India. You may have noticed that there is a growing trend of racism against Indians in Canada. A significant reason behind this is that their government has literally started presenting India as an enemy country, as a hostile nation. Recently, many articles have been published about the struggles of students in Canada amid rising racism and housing challenges. The prices of homes are increasing, but Indians are facing more racism in Canada. In addition to India, they have also stated that China could interfere in their elections. They claim that the People's Republic of China could use artificial intelligence-enabled tools to interfere in Canada's democratic processes in the current election. They also mentioned that Russia and Pakistan have the potential to do the same. However, the way they have discussed India and China is different. They did not blame Russia and Pakistan in the same language. If you are wondering why Canada keeps making such statements, the reason is quite simple. Elections will start on April 28, 2025, and the current ruling Liberal Party strategy is clear. Canada is under attack. They're saying that there is a threat from Trump, India, China, and Russia. The narrative they are building for the Canadian elections is that the Liberal Party will protect Canadians from all these dangers. In contrast, if you look at the Conservative Party of Canada, led by Pierre Poilievre, they have openly stated that they will improve relations with India. They have said they will deal respectfully with Trump. The impact of Quebec politics will also be significant in the elections. The battle will be between the Conservatives and the Liberals in the Canadian elections, and it will be interesting to see how the Canadian public reacts to this narrative that elections could be interfered with by India, China, and the US. Will they genuinely accept this fear and re-elect a Liberal government, or will the Canadian public choose a right-wing government this time? I can tell you that if a right-wing leader like Pierre Poilievre comes to power, the relations between India and Canada, as well as Canada and the US, will definitely improve. It will be interesting to see who wins the Canadian elections, as it will have a direct impact on India as well. The 51st G7 summit is being hosted by Canada, and I am pretty sure that Donald Trump will create quite a stir at this summit. He may make many controversial statements, possibly even suggesting to bring Russia back into the G7. He might talk about breaking up the group. All these things are likely to happen. However, from an Indian perspective, whether PM Modi will attend this summit will largely depend on the outcome of the Canadian elections. If the Liberal Party wins again and Justin Trudeau becomes Prime Minister once more, the chances of PM Modi attending will decrease significantly. But if we assume that Pierre Poilievre or another right-wing leader comes to power, I believe the chances of PM Modi attending the 51st G7 summit will increase significantly. In the coming months, Canada will be in the news a lot. There will be many statements targeting the US, China, and specifically India as the election atmosphere is building. If there are any further updates, I will continue to bring you updated videos.